guys, howdy do. I'm Karen Adamski with SHamamama.com, and today is day 20 of my one video blog a day for 30 days project. So gosh, 10 days after this, and I'll be done with it. I would have done it. Woohoo! But today I want to talk about ethics, ethics in shamanism, and I guess really what everything I'm going to share and give you my point of view on. It really doesn't have to just be for shamanism. It could be for any kind of spiritual work, any kind of, if you go to a psychic or you go to a Reiki healer or an astrologer or any kind of spiritual healer, I think that, or even medical healer really, I think that it's really, really important to have a good set of ethics in place. And I think that a lot of times ego can get in the way of ethics. And I only say that because from my standpoint, when I'm, say, a client going to see a Reiki healer, going to see a psychic, or any other spiritual person, I have found often that they will, I'll come in, sit down, and we'll say, oh, I've got to tell you about the healing I did yesterday, or I've got to tell you about the message I got for this person, and they'll proceed to tell me. And sometimes they use names of the person, and sometimes they don't, and I don't think it's okay either way. I think that when you go to see a healer, you get your message, you get whatever happens in that time frame is private and it's yours. And it's not for the practitioner to share with anybody else in any way, even if they change names and want to tell a story about how everything played out. I just don't think that that's okay. That's my personal opinion. I've been on the end of things where my story has been shared, and I don't like that. And I've been on the other end where other people's stories have been shared with me, and I don't know who they are, but I just... that doesn't matter. It's the message overall is nobody else's beeswax except for that person who's going to see that healer. So, and I really don't even feel like it's the beeswax of the healer so much. I feel like once the healer has helped that person, has delivered that message or that energy or whatever it is they're delivering, once that's done and the client walks away, I feel like that should never be shared. It's not the practitioner's place to share it with anybody else. And I feel very strongly about that. So you may or may not agree with me. If you don't agree with me, that's totally fine, by the way. No hard feelings. But if you don't agree with me, you may not want to listen to the rest of the blog because you probably just won't agree with it. But I think within the practicing shamanism, the hardest thing for me, this has been the most difficult part in terms of ethics, is one of the ethical standards within shamanism is that you, as the shamanic practitioner, don't necessarily go out and offer your healing or offer your services to somebody without them approaching you first. So if I see you, and you're my friend, and I know that you're feeling really, really down and you're struggling with something, it's hard for me because I'm a fixer type person. I want to say, oh gosh, guess what? Let's do a session and we can do, a soul retrieval for you, and I bet you everything will be better. That's not okay from an ethical standpoint within shamanism. Within shamanism, it's up to somebody to approach the shamanic practitioner and start things that way. So it's hard for me, being that I want to help people, to just keep my mouth shut. I'm learning to do that, but that's been the most difficult thing for me from an ethical standpoint. Probably the easiest thing for me from an ethical standpoint has been keeping things confidential. I'm over 20 years I've been an HR consultant, so with HR work comes a lot of confidentiality, and I've been in the position often where, you have to counsel people on work-related things or personal things, or both, and sometimes those things can be really uncomfortable, and sometimes I have to tell people things that they don't want to hear. And that, over the years, as being an HR person, has become easy for me, and it is easy for me to know to draw the line, and it's nobody else's beeswax except for that person. So the confidentiality standpoint, or from that standpoint, it's been easy for me. So kind of gives you an idea. But there's a lot of ethical things that come up. So I put together a list of my promises, like promises to my client from an ethical standpoint. And I wanted to share those with you, just so that you know what I'm about. But also because I think that when you're going and looking for any kind of energy healer, any kind of spiritual worker, I think that those might be things for you to kind of keep in the back of your head. Is that person telling you about their healing they had yesterday, or the wonderful work they did with Joe Blow down the street? If that's the case, that might not be the person you want to see. That's my opinion. So I have 16 things here that I have I've titled it "My Promise to You," and this is something that I had done a while back. So it's not that I've done this for this blog, and it's for you personally. This is for anybody who would come to see myself as a shamanic practitioner. So I'll just go through the list and read you my kind of code of ethics, okay? I will always deliver accurate information as I receive it from my spirit helpers. I will postpone healing if my shamanic power is low. I promise to do the best I can to offer healing, and I will not rush the process. I promise to keep your information confidential at all times. I will only share with the client that which is about the client. That's kind of what I was talking about before. I assure my clients that I will only do healing work when requested and or given permission. I promise to always be compassionate and make you feel as comfortable as possible. I promise to be committed to you and your spiritual well-being. As a shamanic practitioner, I promise to remain ethically bound at all times. I promise to be as available as possible to you should you have any questions and or concerns. I will remain humble in my shamanic work, as a shaman cannot do his or her work without teaming with spirit helpers. I promise to honor any and all pain that may be presented. What is painful to one person may not seem painful to another. Therefore, all suffering is to be honored, respected, and accepted as is. I will respect differences in all people. I promise to unconditionally honor and respect all people and their beliefs. I will not judge any person for any reason, and I promise to always work with compassion. I promise not to let ego get in the way of doing my work. I will always focus on the client's well-being. My personal interests will be set aside, and efforts will be focused on the client's wellness. And lastly, I will offer fair and appropriate fees. So that's my list of promises to my clients from an ethical standpoint. So, maybe just kind of tuck that away, see if that's something that resonates with you, and maybe give thought to, when you do go see a healer, just make sure that it's the right match for you, and that their ethics are intact in terms of how you feel they should be intact. So that's that. Thank you for listening today. I want to show you my puppy. Hang on. Momo, come here. There's people out here that want to see you. Come here. You want to see Mama? Oh, hang on. We want to see how cute you are. This is one of my puppies. Look at who's on the camera. That's Monet. This is Monet. She's beautiful. And she is a therapy dog. She is very she's very intuitive. When I have people come over, she wants to be smudged first. What do you see? Mama loves you. Say hi to the people and I'll put you down. Hi, everybody. Say go to SHamamama.com and get your free smudging kit, and then they can smudge. That'll make you happy, huh? Okay, guys. Thanks. Be well, be happy, be kind, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.